Hey, welcome back, everybody. Another edition of Confessions from the Backseat of a Country Boy from Georgia. Today, we have a good one. I'm going to title it off of something that my aunt used to say, Auntie Mott. Her name is Martha Bryant. Um, this is one for you. The title of it is for you. You used to always have the saying, caught red-handed with your hand in the cookie jar. They used to say that to us all, when we were little. I used to hear you say that in general, meaning you caught them, while they were getting in trouble. So your saying was caught red-handed with your hand in the cookie jar. For me, the title of this one is caught red-handed with the Snicker in my hand. Caught red-handed with Snicker in hand. I might have mentioned this way back when in another video, but I'll try to make it interesting and make it educating. Let's just say that. All right, so let's get into it about this Snicker. It was early, probably 1992, 93. Stationed in Tustin, California. Young Marine, still like a Lance Corporal, the E3. I used to work at night, meaning, well, we used to also rotate shifts. Sometimes I used to come in at 4 in the afternoon and then get off at midnight, or work from midnight to get off at 7 in the morning. This shift particularly, I was working from the 4 in the afternoon to the midnight one. So I worked in what's called RSD repairables. It was basically repairables, like big items, motors, pumps, whatever you can do. Meaning anything that's repaired. But basically, we stored it. I would order it, stock it, ship it, do the accounting for it, whatever have you. And they had me work the second shift. So here I am coming in. The first thing we do is stock a lot of stuff. And, the guys on the first shift would just be going home and there'd only be like 2 people in the building typically. So I waited till everyone was leaving and let me set this up right. So I'm out stocking stuff and getting everyone's leaving, and there was an office next to ours, and basically there was a staff sergeant and probably a couple more people that was in there, and I saw that then they finally turned the light off. And the staff sergeant, they have a huge refrigerator in there, and they used to, he used to kind of let us hard go out and buy a bunch of Snickers, sodas, Gatorades, and stuff like that, and just sell them. Because we all didn't have any other place to get access to it. We didn't have vending machines. So Staff Sergeant Snyder would do all these things. He had a box in there with money, and he'd have an honor system where people would come into his office and just take your Snicker, pay you $1 or 50 cents, whatever have you it was. Well, for me, that night I realized everyone was leaving, and being a knucklehead young man, I I I I I used to sneak in and take the candy. And if I had money, of course I would leave it. But if I didn't have money, I would just take the candy and just roll on. Yes, you guys are listening. I was completely wrong, completely wrong. Which I know that, and I apologize for. And again, just one of those things where you learn as you go. So I'm into the office, and again, I just thought everyone had just left, and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there looking into the fridge. I got the fridge open. I'm going through it. I'm like, do I want a Snicker bar? Do I want a Three Musketeer? Am I gonna get a Gatorade? And mind you, at that moment, I had to, because everyone's left. So I had to actually kind of jimmy rig and get through the door. So I put a little effort into it, and I completely said I'm in the wrong. Completely said I'm in the wrong. So I get inside, I jimmy rig, get inside, and I'm in the fridge again, mind you, and I'm going through all the things, all the things that he have in there, all the goodies, and I'm just like, wow. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna take? I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I just want a Snicker. So I open the Snicker really quick, and I'm still got the fridge open, and I'm chewing on it, and I'm looking in there like, should I get me a Gatorade? I'm like, nah. In my head, I said, you know what? I did. I'm just from the heart. I'm telling, because I'm telling, being honest with it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna probably put $1 or $2 when I get a chance and I get paid and I come in here, because I was feeling bad. So I was like, I'm not gonna get a Gatorade. So as I'm getting, take another bite and I'm getting ready to close the door, I hear the lock and the door from the other side open, and I'm like, I didn't have time to react, so I just stood still, and the door came open, and lo and behold, it was Staff Sergeant Snyder. Staff Sergeant Snyder, little short guy, little mustache. I'm telling you, little bitty thing. Had to have been about right here. He looks at me. You can tell he looks at me because he has this confused look, and I'm wondering, like, what is he thinking? And then he has this angry look in his face, and then he walks over to me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Just getting a Snicker." He asked, "How'd you get in here?" I was like, pointed at the door, through the door. He was like, he kind of looked. And then he said, "Well, are you going to pay for that?" And I said, I just answered honestly. I said, "No, not at the moment. Right now, I wasn't." So you was going to take it. And it started to hit me, and then it really just weighed on me for that moment that he's pissed, and rightfully so, rightfully so, to take another man's property. I don't blame him for being upset and being angry. So at that moment, he was just like, "Sit down." And I sat down. He's just like, "You're going to pay me back and for whatever, blah, blah, blah. How long you been doing this?" I was just like, "Listen, I just grabbed this," and I told him what I did, what I thought I had owed, and I told him I had no problem paying it back, and I apologized to him. But he just, so it was more about, he saw that I was sincere with it, but it was more about what was happening, how it was happening. And like I said, he was really into his emotions at the time. Again, I don't blame him. So he said, "Now you're going to pay for this, pay for that." He said, "This is between us." He says, "And you will blah, blah, blah until you make this right." And I told him I would. And make a long story short, I thank Staff Sergeant Snyder for being a man and holding me accountable and pointing that out to me and didn't let me slide. And so everybody know, I do understand it was wrong before it even started. There's no excuses for it. Just try to give you explanations on what you're thinking and what you're going through at that moment in that time. So at that moment in time, I wasn't even angry. I was a young man who just faced everything. I just take it as it comes. I took it as in, he felt mature enough to at least teach me the right thing and say the right things. He didn't belittle me. He didn't actually scold me to the point where I hated him or I just felt like it was unjust. It was fair. So with that being said, I want to say to my aunt, I got caught red-handed with my hand in the cookie jar. And as you meaning the Snicker. Staff Sergeant Snyder, thank you for what you taught me. I hope you're still living and well. Again, it was a very embarrassing moment. I don't say these things to glorify him. I say these things to teach any kid that you can grow from mistakes. They're not you. They're just an act and a bad decision. Sometimes you have the power to make a wrong decision go right. And I'll explain that in further detail. So, but again, that's my story for this time. I just want to let you guys know, Tony got caught with his hand, with the Snicker in his hand, and it wasn't a good thing. Staff Sergeant Snyder, again, thank you for what you taught me, the grace you've shown me, and the humility. I'm just glad that I'm able to share this with other people. So, hey, stay away from them damn Snickers. Pay up front. On your own. All right, this is a lesson from the country boy. So I love you guys. Until the next one. Peace.